the next person that I'm going to introduce to you, our next speaker, she told me something that she said that herself that it's a silly hobby that she has. I don't think it's silly at all, especially during a global CX day. She has been, namely during the COVID situation, learning Chinese. I mean, how many people would learn Chinese? I personally only know Japanese, so congratulations on that, and please join us, Anna Tapio, CEO from Housing Fair Finland. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here today. So I would like to share some learnings of transformation and future CX from the past few months. Okay, maybe here.
Let's see. Can I help you?
It's a button problem here.
Yeah, it's probably not on.
It worked before.
Yes.
The demo effect.
Yes, there.
Thank you.
Now it works again.
So, at the Housing Fair Finland, Suomen asuntomessut in Finnish, why did we need to start changing? Corona, of course, forced us to think and act differently very, very quickly. But already short before that, we had redefined our strategy. We have a glorious 50 years history and very well-known brand, with over 90% spontaneous awareness and definitely a warm and strong place in the hearts of people in Finland. Over 50% of them maintaining they have visited the fair at least once. But the world is changing. The expectations both on what is regarded as pioneer and forerunner in housing and what is the state of the art in live events are evolving and diverging. So, to celebrate our 50 years anniversary, we wanted to not only look back, but look far into the future and redefine our purpose. We formulated our vision as a strong will to ensure sustainable housing and living and the well-being of residents. And our mission statement summarizes the path how we aim to achieve our vision. We want to be the most inspiring way to perceive smart and sustainable housing and living. Meaning that we don't want to just inform, tell or educate our audiences. We much more wish to inspire and empower our customers and partners. And further, we set the ambition to offer more interaction year through. For example, we are very keen to develop our virtual and digital presence and interaction outside the annual fair event. And overall, we want to function as a platform for experimenting and developing new solutions for smart and sustainable housing, as we have very, very large network of partners and cooperating companies that we want to help develop their offering and sustainability by utilizing us as a laboratorium. So, to put the strategy into action, two factors have been supporting the implementation dramatically: ethnographic methods and Corona. Now, I would like to show some examples on how ethnographic methods for deep diving into customers' real world and true expectations, and also Corona pandemic, have been accelerating our journey of fulfilling the mission in pretty rapid pace. Last spring, we teamed up with Protomo, which has now changed its name to Noren. We carried out a thorough research to deeply understand the underlying ideals of housing and living. First, there was an ethnographic phase in 9 cities where the anthropologists spent several hours in 33 homes. Then the insight was utilized in quantitative validation. And on one hand, we are very happy to have a kind of validation for our strategy, a confirmation that we were aiming in the right direction. On the other hand, we gained really fruitful insights to deepen our strategy and develop it further. First of all, the thorough approach helped us understand today's deeper meaning of the complicated concept of home. Home is not just a dwelling and physical shelter, but more and more a psychological shelter where I can really be myself. Home has many different meanings for different people. For example, home may serve as an expression of my identity and personal branding, and at the same time it may function as the ultimate place for security, peace and privacy. Overall in common, my ideal home is the image of my ideal life in the future, in the far future. Ideal home is the concrete expression of my hopes, dreams and values, and it is much easier to imagine and put into words than saying what I expect from my life, happiness in general. From the perspective of individual person, future living can be divided in 3 levels: reality, ideals and dreams. And we learned that the housing fair offering serves as a tool on all these 3 levels. Regarding dreams, for me, some homes in the fair area are suitable for astonishment and voyeurism, and maybe just dreaming in case I won in the lottery. And regarding ideals, the fair examples may represent my ideal goal I'm hoping or even planning to achieve in the next couple of years. And regarding the reality, in the fair area I can see concrete examples and alternatives for immediate decision making, and maybe just write down my shopping list. One practical outcome of the project was this simplified profiling picture. It classifies the people in 5 groups according to their aspired lifestyle and connection to the neighborhood or surroundings. Meaning, firstly, the vertical axis, the social dimension, that your ideal solution for housing and living depends on whether you strongly need to identify yourself as a member of your local community, or on contrary, you prefer privacy and social distance. The horizontal axis describes the pace of your everyday life, either slow and harmonic or fast and stressful. The whole insight and this profiling tool can then be utilized as inspiration when we organize for cooperation and development efforts with the different partners and other stakeholders in our network. As I already told in the beginning, that our strategy very much emphasizes our role as a development platform for our network. It is invaluable to utilize this kind of insight to bring the actual end user in the middle of the brainstorming and idea generation already at the outset. And then, another kind of example may be the most alarming finding of this piece of research. If people can really honestly tell, major part of the population is truly confused and does not strongly feel I'm in charge when confronted with the climate and sustainability issues. I mean, people are worried, but not ready to reduce own living comfort and standard for the sake of environment. There seems to be a strong trust that technology or the government authorities and the businesses will solve the sustainable issues for me. Meaning, there is a compelling need for our role as a facilitator. We need to simplify and illustrate options and their impact on climate. For example, empower the end decision maker, the homeowner, the tenant to be much more conscious about his or her impact. We need to make it much easier for an ordinary person to make sustainable choices and feel I'm in charge and I can be proud of it. So what we did this year in the housing fair in August, we calculated the carbon footprint and fingerprint and total emissions for each and every house in the fair. And we found it very important to present the facts in a way that is simple, easy to grasp and compare, and very essential. We involve the actual people responsible for the choices and to contribute. That is, the families and constructors of the homes were asked to write their own stories and reasoning behind their choices. And what happened next? As the results of these calculations were published, it provoked quite some discussion. For example, leader editorial in the newspaper Ilta-Sanomat stated the importance of these figures for the future value of your home. Immediately, There were hundreds of comments claiming this is nonsense and thousands of likes for these comments. However, at the same time on Twitter, there was a little bit more analytical discussion by experts and professionals, a little bit more positive, constructive views, and the conclusion, this might be a good start. So we provoked discussion, increased awareness, and yes, this proves that there is still a lot to do in this field. So that was one strategic example of our relevance and aspired impact. The conclusion is that we definitely have a role in empowering the inhabitants for wiser decisions and saving the planet, and that ethnography has been a huge help in this work. But what about the actual housing fair event? The 4-week circus that we put together every year in a different location and attract on average 130,000 visitors and over 500 representatives of media. Throughout our history, we have always been very interested in the opinions of the visitors. We have made tons of surveys and polls. We have been very keen to study the curves of the Net Promoter Score, and the results have been quite delightful. The NPS always popping up at least above 30, so we can be proud. But that's just scratching the surface. And this year we wanted to dig deeper and understand the truth. What is the actual experience in the event? What really happens on the long path? And should we transform the whole housing fair concept? We again worked together with Noren, and we invited 14 people to share their journey. We utilized the profiling tool from before and focused on the two segments, technology-oriented organizer and career-oriented estate. They volunteered to either carry a GoPro camera or take picture of the whole day and give an interview afterwards explaining their findings and feelings. The researchers analyzed the videos and photos and drew the experience curves, which then got quite different shapes, like here, Heidi and Markus having lots of ups and downs during the 5.5-hour visit, whereas Laura having only one positive phase after her arrival, and Tuula spending 8.5 hours in the fair and staying all the time in the positive emotion level. Behind those ups and downs, we then got tremendous amounts of thrilling information about the experiences. For example, we learned that unlike music festivals, people in the housing fair that come the housing fair is not a socially shared collective experience, but the visitors come in quite a private mood and look for personal solutions. Only afterwards it's nice to return to your takeaways and findings and share the best ones with family and friends and on social media. And regard to digital experience, the visitors don't actually utilize so many digital help during the journey, but many of them were hoping to have a chance to return to the homes virtually afterwards and maybe get even more detailed information about the solutions. And that's exactly what we did. Right after closing the gates of the physical fair, we opened the test version of our virtual fair, which we had been preparing since spring because we couldn't know what will happen with Corona. So there in the virtual fair, you can walk around in the homes as long as you wish and click for more information about the materials or furniture or kitchen. And next month we are hoping to get even more visitors, as there will be a TV show on the Channel 4 in cooperation with quite a popular TV show, Huvila and Huusi. And we are very thrilled about the feedback and development ideas we're getting all the time. So these were some examples of how ethnographic approach has helped us grasp the strategic potential in our business, but also helped focus the reactive improvements and quick experimentations fueled by the Corona situation and insecurity and during the past 6 months. That was a little piece of our transformation journey from a traditional, almost iconic housing exhibition brand into hopefully inspiring, experience-oriented sustainability ambassador with fruitful year-round interaction with customers and partners. So thank you very much, and I'm very happy to answer any questions if there's still some time.
Yes, thank you, Anna. I think I didn't see any questions in the chat box right now. Maybe they will start coming. We will make sure to get you some of the questions if they do. But I do have a question for you. I mean, a 50-year-old brand which everybody in Finland knows.
Only 90%.
Well, only that's like 9 out of 10. That's everybody. I don't know what the one out of 10 is doing. But the question is that you've now gone virtual, and we're all living in this digital world at the moment. So, what's going to happen with the real thing from now on? I mean, the physical world.
Well, we have so much proof that there still is space for that kind of physical experience. People need that 4D experience for all their senses, and also that social connection. You go there together with your partner or family or friends. And if we only went virtual, we would miss so much of those senses and that social dimension. So definitely we will have the actual fair for the coming years, and we have booked for the next coming 5 years, so surely you can come.
And I guess like building houses is never going to end. Now we're going to need our homes more than ever, I guess. I'm certainly going to visit the fair next year.
Welcome to Lohja.
If you're going to do it next year. Thank you so much, Anna, for joining us, and we will make sure to send you any questions afterwards if there are any on the chat box, so that the people who are online will get them answered. But before you go, I have something for you. So, unless I have misplaced it, no, it's there. There you go. Here you go. Thank you so much for.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us, and have a really nice fall now and a happy CX Day.